you can see it's sort of got different colours, and the green, it's quite nice. It sort of makes it quite easy to sort of read what code you've got. The green is a comment, and you start comments with a star, so you can see that nothing, this green code won't do anything. See these procs, I won't go into the detail what each of these are doing, but things that are SAS related are in sort of dark blue, and then things that you put in, like these sort of variable names, are in black. If you do something wrong, it'll come up in red. To run, you can, this little run icon is to submit the code and get SAS to process some code. So if I start off by just running all this first part of the code, I press that and it goes along, and I'll just mention, I did this prop print at the end. If you do a prop print, that's a procedure to print the data, and it will print the current data set. And so this is just a print of the data, so you can, it's quite useful because it allows you to see what the data is that you've created. And then in the log window, it's just sort of confirms that it's done what you think it's done. If there's an error, it'll come up in red. So if we put something in it doesn't know about, it'll probably come up and give us an error. So it sort of gets alarmed, it puts these errors in red. So looking at the, if you're not getting results you think you should get, then look in the log window and it'll give you some clues as to what you've done wrong. Sometimes it thinks there might be a bit of a problem and it'll give those as a comment in green, and usually that's not a problem, but something you might want to just watch out for. But the errors are red, and then it just doesn't do anything for you. So we'll take that error out. So yeah, we'll just look at some summarising. So this first bit here sorts the data, so that's fairly intuitive, proc sort. So we're sorting by treatment and that categorical time effect. And then we take the means, so we'll just do a simple prop means to get the means of this signal by treatment and time. So quite straightforward, and it prints it out for us. So at each time point, this is just the end of the output, so we've got treatment D, time point 36, it's giving us a separate mean. It's not really very easy to look at this way. You would more use this to output it to a new data set. It would be better really to present it in a table. So before we did our means by treatment and the time category, if we wanted the mean, it probably wouldn't be useful, but if you wanted the mean for each treatment over all the time categories, just miss that out and say you only want the means by treatment, and you can do it that way. So we just get a mean for each of the treatments. Actually, I'm just looking at 4 treatments here. I think I must have tried to make it a bit simpler. Whereas before, where I just had 1 variable, you can put in 2 variables. We'll have the rate as well, and it lists it for the rate. So all this is fairly standard, and you'd get this in other packages too. And now here I've put in some extra statements to output this to a new data set. So we've got this output statement, and we're going to output it to a data set called means. And you can get out various statistics. So far we've only got out the mean, but and we'll give labels to the mean of the signal and the rate, as not very interestingly called signal mean and rate mean. We'll get out the medians and give those labels to, get out the standard errors for the means, and the number of observations that we're taking the means on. So each of these are sort of SAS kind of terms that it recognises. If you put n, it knows that means the number of observations, and then you give your labels. If you put median, it understands that. So we'll do that, and you get no output because it always takes you straight to the output window once it's produced something. You get no output because it's now outputting to a new data set. But what we can do is print that data set. So we use that prop print again, specify we want the data set to be means. If we hadn't done that, it would print means anyway, because it always prints the last data set it's created. And these are the means that we've just produced. So it's by treatment and the time category, and we've got the means for signal, the means for the rate, And we got the medians, and these have got the labels that we gave them in the code, the standard errors, and the number of observations used to calculate each of them. So 96 observations were used to calculate this mean and median at, for treatment A at the 24-hour time point.